Skillet's 12th album, Revolution, was released yesterday, and I thought, in celebration, I would talk about my top 5 favorite Skillet albums. This is my opinion. I'm not trying to say that these are the outright best, just the ones that I like listening to the most. Let's not waste any more time, and let's start talking about my top 5 favorite Skillet albums.
How could you hate me when all I ever wanted to be?
Collide is the first Skillet album that took the electronic rock direction that they're known for today, and I think this album was a great stepping stone for what was to come, while also keeping the grittiness and grunginess of their earlier albums. The first half of this album has non-stop bangers like Forsaken, Savior, Open Wounds, My Obsession, and the title track. My Obsession features one of my favorite guitar solos of any Skillet song, and Open Wounds is a really fun song to sing along to. The second half isn't quite as memorable as the first half, but it's certainly not bad. There's still plenty of good songs on there like Fingernails and Under My Skin. Overall, Collide is just a fun album, and it was a great stepping stone for what Skillet would become.
It made me feel invincible, earthquake powerful, just like a tidal wave. You make me brave, you're my titan.
Similarly to Collide, Unleashed introduced a new sound for Skillet, and this one introduced a more pop rock sound to Skillet. The first 8 tracks on this album are fantastic, and while Burn It Down and Watch You for Comments are pretty lackluster, the album was once again saved with the last 2 tracks, Saviors of the World and The Resistance. The highlights of the album for me are Feel Invincible, Back from the Dead, Stars, I Want to Live, and The Resistance. It's a lot better than I remember, and I enjoy all but 2 songs on this album. I think the pop rock direction was a cool direction for Skillet to take, even if Victorious and Dominion didn't deliver on the potential. If you didn't like this album at first, I recommend a re-listen. It's a lot better than I remember, and it's honestly a really great album.
Not gonna die tonight without
Rise is a fantastic album that is very re-listenable. My Religion is the only song I don't enjoy on this album. Besides that, I think this album's chock full of awesome songs. My personal favorites on the album have to be the title track, Sick of It, Not Gonna Die, obviously, Circus 4, Psycho, American Noise, Salvation, and What I Believe. The album is also very important in the band's history, as it's the first album that features their current lineup of John and Corey Cooper, Seth Morrison, and Jen Ledger. I listened to this album multiple times and have yet to get sick of it.
I feel it deeper than it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I hate what I've become.
Skillet's most popular album is still one of their best. It's got late 2000s rock classics that any person growing up in the 2000s probably knows, like Hero, Monster, and my personal favorite on the album, Awake and Alive. Other great songs include the very fun It's Not Me, It's You, and one of their best ballads in my opinion, Never Surrender. It's also the first album to feature Jen Ledger on drums and backing vocals, and I think that her drumming and vocals really add to this album. They complement John Cooper's vocals very well, and the dynamic between John Cooper and Jen Ledger is one of the most enjoyable parts of this album. Awake focuses a lot on rock ballads, and while that was a little jarring to me at first, I really like the softer tone this album takes, with the occasional heavy-hitting rock song in between. Awake's tracklist might not be the best of Skillet's discography, but I think the positives far outweigh the negatives.
I don't wanna live, I don't wanna breathe. Best to feel you next to me. You take the pain I feel.
To me, Comatose is still Skillet's best album, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. It takes what made Collide work and enhances it to another level. There's not a single bad song on this album. Looking for Angels is the closest this album has to a bad song, and the only part that bugs me about it is the rapping part of it. The chorus is still great, and it's still a really powerful and enjoyable song. Besides that minor nitpick, Comatose is as close to perfection as Skillet has ever gotten. Each song on here is great, and the ones that I didn't love on first listen have grown on me as I've re-listened to the album. Rebirthing is the best Skillet opener. The Last Night is a beautiful song. Better Than Drugs features some of John Cooper's best clean singing, and Comatose is without a doubt the band's best title track. This album also has some of the band's best ballads, like Yours to Hold, The Older I Get, Those Nights, and Say Goodbye. Plus, the album has my favorite Skillet song of all time, Whispers in the Dark. Comatose will most likely always be my favorite Skillet album. It gives me everything I want out of a Skillet album, and it's one of my favorite albums of all time. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know if you enjoyed it and if you want me to do more top 5 videos like this. Also, let me know what your top 5 favorite Skillet albums are down below, or just how you'd rank all the albums. With that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.